It's time for video game Flash Fiction. Game that's going to start right now when I press this button. Got 90 minutes to create a original story from an Atari 2600 game inspired by its sights and sounds. Because Talk's not going to write the story right yet, I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice. I got a 6-sided dice right here. I have 6 columns. I got column 5, and I got a 12-sided dice and 12 rows, 1 to 12 to the top. Got 5. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Math Grand Prix is the game that we're going to create a story from, and the time's already ticking. Of course, if you're listening to this during the future, you could always probably skip to the end, the last 10 minutes. But if you really want to see how things are created, how the sausage is made, well, continue to watch, because I got to get Math Grand Prix out of here and put in the... Oh, that's a tower that's a little shaky. All these have been tested to work when I originally got them. Most of these have never been played by me. This is one of those. Well, it works. That's always promising. Let's go ahead and let's play this game. Or try. Okay, it looks like there is 2 cars or something. Crazy, no sounds. Looks like if it's a Grand Prix, okay. Math Grand Prix. 2 or 3 spaces. Let's go 2. All right. 4 minus 0 equals 4. Button. Oh, right. Why 3 spaces? I don't get that. Why does the other people get to go? I'm the one doing the math. Okay, so 3 minus 2. Press the red button. And they only went 2. All right. Wow. This is now 4. What happens if we get some... I have a feeling I might win this game today. Let's get to the end. All right. I'm winning. I'm going 3. Why not challenge myself? I'm pretty good at math. Let's game on. That's 3 plus 6. Well, geez, I'll just go ahead. I think that's going to be a 9 today. Why would you go 2? Like, is there a point for the 2? I don't get that. All right, so this is Atari Math Grand Prix. This is video game Flash Fiction. I want 3 spaces. 6 plus 6 is 12. How do I do 12? Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, shoot. Almost hit the wrong button. Okay. I want to win this math battle. Okay, so I should be able to win. Okay, 3 spaces. Let's hurry this up. 5. Math Grand Prix. I never knew it would be so... What does that do? Oh. Interesting. So if you land on something, you might get... So I want to go 3 spaces, I think. 2. Wow, this is not the most exciting thing I've ever played in the world. Okay, and so then there's some magical random thing this person gets. I'm close to winning. And then I can try to write a story. Try Math Grand Prix. Like, that's about... Like, what's the story? I got to do math to win the Grand Prix. I feel like the engineers got to do the math. I'm going 3 spaces. I'm getting out of here. I'm winning this game. 10 minus, well, geez, I don't know. Wow. I won. I won. How am I not winning? 13. Come on now, Atari 2600. I won. 2. Race over. Victory is mine. Okay. Fudge, I don't know. That was something. That was Math Grand Prix by the Atari 2600. I won the race by doing some math. You go around in a circle and you ask math questions. There's an hour and 24 minutes left, so let's try to see if I can create a story off of Math Grand Prix. Because every day I wake, I'm thinking about how can I make math more exciting. I mean, I've thought that at times. Not that much, though, if ever. Because I don't really play video games that have to calculate math. So let's try this. Let's try to make a story out of Math Grand Prix. It's going to be a little challenging, I feel. So why are we doing math in this Math Grand Prix game? Am I going to have to get Alien Race involved? Like go-karts? I know a little bit. I built a go-kart, but helped build a go-kart before. I was not the one that actually did the mounting of the motor onto the actual go-kart. I did some turning of screws, some test driving, putting the pins on the wheels, but I don't need to talk about karting right now. I need to talk about how I can get math involved into this Math Grand Prix. Like, I would have been disappointed as a child getting this game. Parents would have probably thought they were doing me a solid to help me with math, but Math Grand Prix. Is that how Prix? Yeah. Oh boy, Math Grand Prix. Let's start the races. Why would you even have to do math to move a car, other than if you're an engineer creating the car? It could be a speed limit game. Oh man, yeah, this will be an exciting story. Hour and 22 minutes left. Let's make sure we get this timer. I gotta face my time there. Okay, so we're in 2 cars. They go around a track. They can only move forward by doing math. I suppose, maybe, other than being a waste of gas and really hard on the car for all the stops and starts you'd have to do the math. I'm trying to think of any sort of game. Maybe it's sort of the next generation Formula One racing, in that you have to do math before you cross the line. I'm just trying to work the math in there because this is really making a little no sense to me right now. I like the concept of the game. It's pretty cool. Atari 2600 special, but I have no idea how to make a story off of Math Grand Prix right now. I feel like kids got to be involved because you got math. Maybe it's a disastrous. Maybe they take them to the go-kart and make them stop. God. Let's make it a fun story. Or try. I think Word War was the last time, or was that Word Zapper? Math Grand Prix. I'm thinking of maybe having some crossover sport. Like they've got boxing and chess. That's a possibility. But not a very good one. I need some sort of sport where I'm going really fast around a hairpin turn. I got to stop to do a math problem to see if I can advance. And maybe they just technically it's not in real time. In real time, they got to do the math before they cross over. What if they don't? I guess I don't know what happens if I don't get the problem right. What goes on? Do I just not go? Let's try this one more time. And let's do it wrong this time. I want to make sure I'm going to get my monitor up so I can look at the game again. I'm going to fail a math problem. Let's go 2 spaces. I'm going to succeed, then I'm going to fail. Oh boy, man, I got to go 18. Way to go, Atari 2600. Teaching me all the math stuff. I only went 2 spaces. They went 2 spaces. Now I'm going to fail this. Let's go 2 spaces. I don't know why you don't ever go. So let's go this. Let's go 0. I got it wrong. I'm going to get it wrong again. Oh, I just don't get to advance. Okay. So I'm going to leave that right there. I like the green screen. It's kind of cute. Now I know if you don't get the math problem right, you don't advance. That's good. I'd hate to be able to advance on Math Grand Prix if I got the problem incorrect. So I'm thinking definitely, I think they got to do math. They got to make it their mental skills of going really fast and turning corners is not enough in the next generation of Grand Prix. And they now have to do math problems before they cross a line, maybe a quarter line. Like, what happens if you don't get the math problem right? You don't advance, your car shuts down. I don't want to include aliens into this, but we can make this like the future of Formula One. It got boring after maybe they had too much AI involved within driving the car, and so they needed they now need the mental challenge of the driver also having to do simple math problems while going super fast. And if they don't complete the super fast math problem, I don't know what's going to happen yet. They're not going to be able to finish the race, obviously, but like what? Why? How? If it was all electric, let's say it's all electric Grand Prix, maybe they just have some sort of electronic pulse that kills the car and doesn't allow it to go, and stops it in the tracks while the other ones get advanced until they get the next math problem right. I mean, I can't. Let's try to make it that story, make it interesting. So how does this end? It ends, of course, with someone going across the finish line and getting all the math problems right. And now to fit this into some reality, well, that's the fun of the game. Okay, probably want to start off. You got something called Math Grand Prix. You got 2 cars racing around. This is fine. So probably started off as something like an addition problem. And what are they usually like? I've watched F1 before. I'm always fascinated with the voice over the microphone telling them what they can do and what they shouldn't do. Maybe something like starting like this, 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. There's always plus, right? I didn't see any multiplication. I mean, I would assume programming-wise, you wouldn't want to get too far into multiplication. Then you'd have to have the user type out a bunch of stuff. 2 plus 5. Okay, so I just got to think of speaks calm into a name. So Tommy, Gunther. I've actually talked with a Gunther. I'm going to call him Gunther. Speaks into Gunther's. It seems like that'd be a formula. I'm not prejudging a Formula One driver name, but I feel like Gunther would make a great Formula One race driving name. So 2 plus 5 speaks into Gunther's microphones. This is the future. Do they have microphones anymore? That's why not. Headphones. A helmet. I mean, let's just say helmet. They're still going to have helmets. 2 plus 5 speaks into Gunther's helmet. While his Formula One, like, what am I going to, his Formula One electric race car, approaches the math, the legendary math station. So they got to do the math problem before they cross a certain threshold. I'll have Gunther survive once and then have someone next to Gunther, a blue car. Gunther's going to be the red car since we're the red car. Maybe he's going to be sponsored by Marlboro again. What comes around goes around. I'm sure some way in the United States there'll be certain laws passed during the future to allow tobacco back onto publishing or on advertising, and it'll be popular again just because you got to fight the woke. So let's go for that. Let's go for it's Marlboro. I mean, that's the most famous, like, at least sponsor that I think of, not only in Formula One historically, but even like IndyCar or NASCAR. Wasn't Schumacher one time sponsored by Marlboro? I can't remember. Not that I got a long history about anything IndyCar, but I've watched enough documentaries and followed it a little bit over the many years that I've got some ability to bullshit about it. But if you were to actually wipe it away, you'd see that that's all it is. 2+5 speaks into Gunther's helmet while his Formula One electric race car approaches the math station. Oh, yes, because naturally on a track you want a math station. The quarter mile, God, what do you want to call it? The math flag? Because I figure, if you're going to do Formula One, it approaches as the math flag, as electric car race, while his Formula One electric car race drives by, I don't know, let's just call it the mass station for now, toward the mass station. Four, says Gunther. So once Gunther says 4, what happens? In the car, and Gunther Marlboro? I don't even know how to spell Marlboro. Marlboro. Okay. Call it the Marlboro Red. The Marlboro Red racing car. Okay, so Gunther and the Marlboro Red. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just say the Marlboro Red race car. Zooming along the track between, in the lead, for the, I guess this week at least call it out, there's the Math Grand Prix. Because you've already shown that they're doing math problems right now. Naturally, when you get into a Formula One race car, you're in a Grand Prix. Well, it could be Grand Prix. I mean, they look like Formula One cars, so I'm going to go with it. As much as I don't know Formula One or racing. I mean, I know it a little bit, but let's be honest. I couldn't go to a Formula One race and really. Well, I could actually. I've researched it enough, but it wouldn't be pure. So 4, Gunther and Gunther. Okay, 4 says Gunther. Gunther, and a beep sounds in his helmet. Allowing the Marlboro Red race car to zoom. To zoom beyond the math checkpoint. The math point. I like that. Along the track. The math point along the track in the lead of the Monaco Math Grand Prix. Yeah, because, that the second most famous time race in Monaco is the Monaco Race Grand Prix. Monaco race grand. The Monaco race, math race Grand Prix. God, what the hell is the name of the game again? Math Grand Prix. Okay, so that's fine. We'll go Monaco Math Grand Prix because that's where this happens to be right there. All right, so we got the Monaco Math Grand Prix along the track in the lead for the Monaco Grand Math. The Monaco. Let's put Math in there. I want to put Monaco in there because that's just going to give it the location real quick. I don't have to sit there and fictionalize a new place. Even as a novice of Formula One or any racing, I know the importance of Monaco, and people will at least be able to get that picture in their minds. This is a little weird though. So 2 plus 5 speaks into Gunther's helmet, while his Formula One electric car drives toward the math station, the math point, the math table, maybe the maths. Oh boy. No, let's not call about the maths. It's the math. Those, of course, could be fighting words in some time. Yeah. Speaks into Gunther's helmet. The math points 4 says Gunther as the people, as a beep. Let's go a beep. As a beep sounds in his helmet, allowing the Marlboro Red race car through the math point, beyond the math point, race car beyond the math point, allowing the Marlboro race car beyond the math point, along the track in the lead for the Monaco Math Grand Prix. Maybe a paragraph to define the Monaco. I mean, that's like a pattern I use a lot, and it's kind of boring as shit. In fact, my pattern for flash fiction seems to be pretty standard these days, but it's working maybe not. But let's continue with the story. And how does it end? Does Gunther win? I don't know. Let's roll a dice. 1 through 3 win. 1 through 5 lose. 6 win. How shall I do this? 1 through 3 win. 1 through 3 wins. Okay, so Gunther's going to win the math. I got to show that the blue car. 5. And then 16, that's like another math problem, like 13 minus 4. And then Gunther misunderstands, right? Because he's in a car going real fast. Speaks into Gunther's helmet. 4 would be something. 13, 3 minus 3 would be 18. 18, because I think 3, like 18 minus 4. Maybe misunderstood it to be 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. Oh, shoot, yeah. Into Gunther's helmet. Through, I guess it's electric, so it's not going to be that loud. Probably disappointing in many who love the thrust of the motor. It does feel interesting. I've never seen a live Formula One, but I've been to drag races more than once, and other types of vehicle races, and the motors of their cars and motorcycles. Pretty impressive. Pretty thunderous. So 18 minus 4. Should I leave the numbers? Yeah, because the numbers were there. So I'm going to leave the numbers even in the dialogue. No, I won't. I didn't do it the first time. So we got 4. Speaks into Gunther's helmet, and 18. So we got Gunther. And what time do we got? We got an hour and 5 minutes left, so we got to get Gunther through this. So speaks into Gunther's helmet. 18 minus 4. What would be the thing? Like 18? 8 minus 4 is, and then no. Speaks in the Gunther's helmet. Gunther's head shakes as while the Formula One car porpoises. Porpoise. I think that's porpoise. Porpoises. Is that right? Porpoising. Yes. Porpoising. Porpoises. Porpoises. Porpoises, not propuses. Porpoises. All right, so Gunther shakes while the F1 porpoises. 8 minus 4. And the car stops. Okay, so we got to do math problems. Okay, let's do a little bit of racing here, and then we're going to have the failure of the Marlboro car. And what's blue? Like, I don't know. I can't think of any famous blue cars in any race form. I'm very limited in my memory, so it's not as if it'd be shocking if I didn't. Maybe IBM Big Blue. I like that. I'm a fifth of time in Marlboro. I come back around again. Everyone loves smoking. They find it healthy. This is 20 years from now. IBM is once again on top, and they're now sponsoring electric Formula One. Hell yeah, that's what would happen. While porpoises 8 minus 4 lead in the Monaco. The big blue IBM car. And naturally, if you're in the IBM car, the big blue IBM car putters along. Speeds along. Follows. I got in the lead. The big blue IBM. The big blue Formula IBM car revs behind, taking a sharp corner after the math point, and gaining and nearly overtaking until Gunther swerves. I mean, because naturally, you can almost overtake them there. And so the big blue IBM car revs behind the sharp corner after the math point and nearly overtaking Gunther. Let's add the LY here. Nearly overtaking Gunther as he swerves. Nearly overtaking Gunther. Someone's got to fail. Big Blue's gonna know math. Gunther's gonna have some issues. The Monaco, the crowds, the stands and side crowds rising from the Monaco streets. Cheer as they both enter the tunnel and speed toward the next math point. the next math point, of course. 18 minus 4 speaks into Gunther's helmet. Gunther shakes while the F1 porpoises over wavy Monaco roads, over, I mean, no. Prepare for stop. Okay, and then I can 8 minus 4 is no, says what is it, the oh god, it's not going to be the team principal, I would not think, on this one. It's not that cool. Well, let's just say that is Principal. Am I Principal? Principal. Says the team principal. No, says the team principal. While Gunther mutters 4. It was 18. Prepare for stop. Stopping. Says the team principal. Stopping. From the sides of the raceway road. Monolithic. Monoliths. I can't even spell monoliths right now. Why? Monoliths. There we are. There's a word. I like that word. From the sides of the raceway road, monoliths. Pulse. Electromagnetic monoliths. How's that? I don't want to make some stuff up. Electromagnetic monoliths. Pulse between each other. Pulse between. Pulse over the road. How's that? Yes, because naturally that's what you do. You set up your electromagnetic monoliths to pulse over the road to be able to stop an electrical F1 car that has forgotten a math problem. They got to stop the race. That's naturally what happens during Math Grand Prix. And they can stop beforehand if they don't stop willingly. Prepare to stop. A math pulse. You know, you're never going to go far in life. Even if you're driving race, Formula One, you just got to make it more challenging. Why would they even do this? Like, that's just it. I don't know. I got a good story, and we'll get there here. Probably because it become boring. They moved too far. They went too far with things. I want to turn that back on so I can get the green screen. Just kind of stare at it a little bit here. So from the sides of the raceway road, electromagnetic monoliths pulse over the road. That's great. Let's be redundant. Let's not. So let's get rid of that. So prepare to stop, team principal, or suffer a pulse. From the sides of the raceway road, electromagnetic monoliths pulse. Sure. That's naturally. When I set up my F1 racetrack for my Math Grand Prix at Monaco, I got to make sure I get the pulsing magnetic monoliths. And what they're going to do, stop. Gunther's car slows. Stop before the... I mean, then what's going to happen, like, about other cars? Like, are they going to get hit by this? It just seems bad. So Gunther stops. Maybe it's just a full shutdown. Maybe let's not go with electric magnetic pulses, because that's just... How are you going to focus that? 18, prepare to stop. As team principal, as the race... that's better. It's electric, right? They can have a kill switch. Stopping. So it'd be like the race master. I forgot the name of the person that everybody hates. Let's just call them the race master. Presses the kill switch. On Gunther's Formula One car. Formula One electric car. The charge dissipates. Come on now. Dissipates? Let's not try to think of a word that I don't know how to use right now with that sentence. The race master presses the kill switch on Gunther's electric car. Stopping. And I guess you just have to stop. Stopping. Says Gunther. His hands grip the steering wheel in anticipation of the race master. Next words. After the car comes to a complete stop. And it's on the raceway. On the raceway. As the big blue car zooms past. Now I have what failure looks like. Zooms past, dropping math. I don't know. Dropping math like America drops bombs. No, let's not go there. Not for this story. Big blue race car zooms past, dropping math. Dropping math solutions. Like I don't know. Like tears of joy. Doing math. With a successful subtraction of what's the subtraction for? Subtraction of 9 minus 8. Let's do that. 9 minus 8. Okay, so now we got at least what it looks like when you have to succeed. You have to do math. You have to go around these corners. You have to say it properly. If not, you're going to stop, which is very dangerous. Yeah, there's lots of cars going around the track very fast at this point. So you'd imagine that you'd, be a little frightened. But now we got to get the start and the stop. And now I can have like this montage of Gunther doing a lot of math and then just busting through Monaco to pass Big Blue and win the race somehow because of math. I don't know. My last math Grand Prix, which was never, I almost lost because before the finish line, I had a problem of 13 minus 15. Very similar to what Gunther's going through. Because naturally, when I drive my F1 cars, I want to do some math. Stopping. He grips the steering wheel minus 8. Gunther stops. The car stops. car charges. Let's say the race master. Let's get that full process down. The race master flips the on, the go switch. The kill switch, the live switch, flips the live switch, giving energy to Gunther's car. The car revs, Gunther drives, wheels spin. Let's do some quick action, right? The car revs. You don't need to spin your wheel. I mean, if everything's so electrical, you should be able to have that surge of energy pretty damn quick and then controlled in such a way that, your takeoff would be there. Maybe that's why they've got to do the math now to make it more challenging. I got to write about the math. The car revs, the wheels turn, Gunther zooms. Zoom through Monaco. Okay, zooms through Monaco. Zooms through the Monaco streets, chasing Big Blue. And dropping bombs. Oh, I gotta throw that out there. How are we gonna, bombs? Dropping math. Excuse me. Like rain from God? I don't know. Dropping math like... Okay. Gunther stops before... Okay, I don't need to stop it. I need to do the montage of a lot of math going on. And how the challenge of the math. I should probably write back a little bit. With the time check, we're not even halfway through and we got words for this video game flash fiction story, but only figure out why we need to be able to do the math and put that in. That's a kind of a key point about this unique race is the fact you need to do math. Because naturally, when you're doing a Formula One race, you need to throw in math. But you throw in the math. What'd be the reason here? We got a little bit of time to ponder this. This fun. I think they're gonna do the math because of the fact that it's electric and a lot of the components, a lot of the human required actions and reactions have been narrowed down to just needing to sit in the seat almost. And so they want them to do math to make it even more challenging. Let's do that. And Monaco Math Grand Prix. So we could probably just put it right here. And then I can write back just one paragraph. And Monaco Math Grand Prix. A Grand Prix. A next generation, because everyone's just going to hate it when those words. What about this generation? Next generation Grand Prix. The Math Grand Prix. A next generation Grand Prix. Includes rules to challenge a driver's focus with math. We're given engineering engineering and money. Engineering, what else? I just got to think engineering and something. I just had the word in my mind. Engineering and money, of course, is the whole thing. Engineering, money. I got to throw out the AI. And not AI. I don't want to use AI, but I just say engineering. Engineering and money. Given engineering and money perfected the performance of the formula car yeah, I mean, so maybe the given AI engineering and money. Let's just do that. Let's throw out AI. If I'm not going to be throwing out quantum physics, then we could be throwing out AI here and there, and not having nanos in this thing. So the Grand Prix, the next generation Grand Prix, included rules to challenge the driver's focus with math, given AI engineering and money perfected the performance of the Formula One car. Okay, so now I can write about the performance, and I'll write about Big Blue, then right back to Big Blue, having a car in this, and it'll kind of go along with the AI, so it's going to set it up somewhat. A little bit of backstory, so someone looks at this and says, hey, I know a little bit about racing, but why the hell are they doing math? Well, I have hopefully some base explanation now. We'll see how that writes out. Fantastic. 43 minutes left. This, I have been going through my video game flash fiction stories lately, seeing which ones I'm going to be publishing into a book next. I don't know if this is going to make this cut. Unless it has aliens, then I can be really eccentric, but I don't want to include aliens. So the Math Grand Prix, a next generation Grand Prix, includes the rules to challenge the driver's focus with math, given AI engineering and money perfects the performance of Formula One racing. That's the opening. I want a whole paragraph for this right here, just to make sure that it's set up for the rest of the chapter, and at least gives a little bit of fiction. Better fiction, maybe not. Maybe it sucks. Engineering in the AI perfects the performance of criminal. Blah blah blah. A skinny, lanky. The requirements for drivers. I don't know what the hell. The big blue car was the first hired a math the big blue IBM team for years introduced our AI models that allowed anyone with a lean figure, any skinny human able to drive a car, to pilot an F1. After years of victory, F1 board, I can't remember, F1 accepted drivers needed to start doing math to increase the mental strain. Now engineered away by AI. That is our reason. Maybe not a very good one, but it's going to be the one that takes this story to the end. We may correct that. I'm going to read through this here. But now I need the montage. Now I got to think of this montage. The car revs, the wheels zoom. The Gunther zooms through the Monaco streets chasing Big Blue, and this is the montage. Let's make sure I got an M right here. I really need to, next time. I mean, a lot of these games are sort of objective, meaning I need to, the conflict is within the game. I mean, that's what makes it a game, right? Where am I going with this? One of these times I should get really abstract. I think I do at times, but as far as my narrative and the way that I tell the story, a little bit different. I seem to have a pattern with flash fiction these days, especially this video game flash fiction, but that's fine. Anyway, enough of that rant. Let's write this story. So we got the cars rev, the wheels zoom, Gunther zooms through the Monaco streets, chasing Big Blue, dropping mass solutions like American drops bombs on foreign countries. Boom. An explosion. Okay, so like math problems like 7 minus 4 and 18. I wonder if there's like a limit. 18 plus 1. Like maybe 100. Maybe it gets up there. I wonder if you go up in levels. I want to try this one time here. I want to actually play this again. Now that I want to see if you can go up in difficulty level and you get higher numbers possibly. So let's go ahead and I need my screen up here so I can see better. And we're going to have some joy with the joystick. But let's go ahead. Oh, interesting. What happens to this? Let's go see. All right, so I just increased the difficulty level. I'm hitting a space. Oh, we get into division. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's reset this again. And how far can we go? Oh, 7. Whoa, let's try this one. Oh, 7. What's my math problem now? Am I gonna get to like? Huh. That's my math problem. I'm on level 7. Like, give me something. I don't even know. Why would you ever go through 2 spaces? All right. Well, this is not as interesting as I was hoping on level 7. I was expecting some sort of the square root or something. I don't know. I guess you can't get remember. So we at least seen divide. So that's cool. Okay, so you can actually divide and multiply as it seems. I guess the difficulty level that we were seeing right there. I don't know. I'm just going to say that that's what it was, and maybe it was not. But I know one can divide during this Math Grand Prix. So math problems like 7 minus 3. I want a series 18 plus and a division problem. Yeah, 64 divided by 8. Calculated. In Gunther's mind as fingers, while fingers his fingers. Let's just not say a while. His fingers and body. I mean, because they got all the buttons right. It's all clicking. His fingers and arms pressed and guided the race car around bends and curves. To catch Big Blue. And then more math problems. Then you have to like solve like 7 divided by or multiplied by 3. I wonder if there's like an upper limit too. Like if they did the divide, like you wouldn't want to do like 100 divided by or multiplied by 30. I mean, if you did multiplication, you wouldn't want to do 100 divided by multiplication. You wouldn't want multiplied by 64 because it could be too many numbers. And then almost on your division, if you had division, you'd have to work out the problem beforehand not to have a remainder or a decimal point. Because naturally I'm going to code Math Grand Prix 2 here after I'm done with this, because that would be what I'd want to do with my life. Okay, so 7 times 3, 9 divided by 3. And let's go 21 minus 9. Calculated in time for Gunther to drive through what was it called? The math zones, the math checkpoints, the maths. The maths. Gunther to drive through the math points. Math tables, I like that better. Like multiplication tables, addition tables, the math tables. What did I call them up here? Math point? I like math point's not too bad. Math tables. That's good enough for that right there. So we got the math tables. The red car. We're going to see the team principal is now talking there. Push, push. There's the team principal. Principal. God, I can't even think of principal today. Such is life. All right, so we at least have a story. I don't know. Did they leave? Did they lose? Principal. Can I spell this word any more wrong? I can. Principal. Team principal. Let's go with that and just talk on. Okay, so push push says team principal. Gunther's big red. Gunther's smoking red car. Let's just say Gunther's red car. Car nears the rear. Gunther's red car nears the rear to Big Blue. Then we gotta have like the last lap. It's gotta be a math problem, right? Can't have anything else but math decide. I think Big Blue is gonna get the math wrong. Yeah. Take a lot of editing and imagination to make this a story. Oh, yeah. So Gunther's red car nears the rear of the Big Blue Formula One. Formula One. The road pivots, road turns, curves. The Big Blue car swerves, cutting. Swerves, pushing Gunther behind as they approach the last math point, maybe. The last math table, I was calling them. I guess typical race fashion. So what the hell? Like, what are they going to do to be able to make sure that this person right here, who is winning the race, the blue car, and there's one thing, I've watched enough documentaries, I've seen enough races, not that many of Formula One, but enough to know the difference between what a Monaco track looks like and another track. And it just seems like the Monaco track, very hard to pass. Once you're in the lead, getting past somebody on those narrow streets seems to be a little bit hard without killing yourself. Or, I guess getting a DNF. So the only way that I can see, and because it is about math, we got to have math being the one thing that determines it. But why is the Big Blue going to fail? Like, I'm following the protagonist here. And the only way the protagonist can win is if the antagonist, the Big Blue, does something wrong, which is kind of a cop-out, I think. And by that is what I mean. Like, it's not about now the protagonist. I'm not giving any reason why Big Blue failed the math problem, because that's not the primary character, and I haven't involved the antagonist in this at all. They're not in radio communication. If I did this in pure F1 fashion, then I'd have it. I already kind of did that in my, I'm just, maybe it's, I don't know. It doesn't have to be Formula One, but it needs to be able to have math be the failure. So I almost need the red car to lose on this. Gunther should be in the lead right now and then fell. Gunther's a better driver. Let's do that. Let's have Gunther actually get past Big Blue, then fill another math problem, then Big Blue wins. To show that, the game has changed. Technology has changed. So that's what I'll do. Gunther does lose. And I do need it to be a different team and not a same team member, because they'd have a similar car. And I want to make sure the team loses and not just part of the team, because another team member got a better spot on the podium, or on the podium for that matter. So push says the team principal. Gunther's red car nears the blue car, Formula One. The blue car swerves, pushing Gunther as they approach curves. The blue car swerves. Okay, I think this is where it's going to have. Man. Always the itchy nose. Such is life. Gunther's red car nears the rear of the Big Blue Formula One. The road turns and curves. Gunther swerves left and right and by the blue car as they approach. While they approach. Okay, so we're going to have Gunther get ahead from driving, because they're the better driver. Gunther's red car nears the rear of the Big Blue Formula One. The road turns, curves, Gunther swerves left and right and by the Big Blue car while they approach the last math table. Maybe this will be the complicated one. I'm gonna I'm gonna be a little bit fiction and just say it's got like it's multiple. So you got to multiply, and it has parentheses. While it's showing that the Gunther is a better race driver, is not better at math than the blue car, and that's why the blue car wins. They got a better AI controlling the thing. Oh yes. Now my desire to use AI in stories is going to be popular at least for a little while. Well, at least please AI. So Gunther's red car nears the rear of the blue Formula One. Nears the rear of the big blue Formula One. The road turns, curves. Gunther swerves left and right and by the blue car while they approach the last math table. Push. Let's say, what's the words? The soothing, the team principal. Pal says, what is it? We can do like that supposed tricky math problems. Be like 18 divided by 7 divided by 3 multiplied by 3, which is gonna be 18. But he just can't get it in his mind right now. This is like the complicated one. And then maybe throw a plus in there, right? Because everyone says, which one do you do first? And we'll say +3. And then we can have the controversy, right? You could say, hey, it's really 1. If you looked at it and you did the addition first, it'd be 6 times 3 would be 9, would be 2. Is that right? Man, where's my mind today? No, it'd be 18. It'd be 6 times 3 is 18 is 1. Or what I would do it as would be 21. I like this. The team principal says, Gunther says, repeat. "18 divided by 3 multiplied by 3 plus 3. Gunther mumbles 3 times 18, or is it plus first? It's I 1? Doesn't do math right. So Gunther's going to lose. Do we have 21 minutes left? Wow. Huh. Let's see if we can add this. We can make it better. I'll say so. Gunther mumbles 318. Or is it plus first? It's I, and then we have the team principal. What would the team principal just say? Math table. Math table approaches. You're coming up on math table. Yes. So now we have the approaches. Swerve side to side. Holding big blue back. As the math table and finish line come into sight, You gotta do a really complex math problem. And then just have it do 1. Gunther swerves side to side, holding back Big Blue as the math table and finishes the game in sight. Gunther mumbles. He mumbles. Divide. Then multiply. Or add. Then multiply. Now, we need an answer. 1. And the Formula One car stops. And with the press of a button, the car stops. And he loses. Big Blue rolls past. Big Blue speeds past. Zooms by. Across the finish line. Winning the Monaco Math Prix. Math Grand Prix. Wow. Well, that works for something. I don't know. Maybe. Math Grand Prix. Let's pour some coffee. Let's read through this one time and see if it needs to be corrected at all. And it will probably need to be, and then read through it again. Let's pour the last of the coffee. And give our thanks for coffee. Thank you, Earth, for coffee. Thank you for the human that tried it for the first time and that decided to tell other humans it's really good. It was probably easy to convince those humans. All right, so we have some story for Math Grand Prix. The Atari 2600 game by the same name, where you have to solve math problems to get your car to go around the racetrack. And then we have like this representation of the final math thing with the X's. And I guess I didn't get the extra bump in math bonuses there, but I at least have a world where you have to do math and race the Grand Prix, and maybe it works out. And maybe this might be a little bit better. It's kind of weird and odd, but that's what happens when you're trying to make an original flash fiction story with an Atari 2600 game, sights and sounds. A little bit odd at times, but fun. All right, so this is Math Grand Prix. Let's read this through and see how it at least sounds and feels right now. Probably spend a little bit of time editing, but we are coming up on time. We got 16 minutes left according to this clock here. But if this feels done and I'm tired, I'm going to be done with it. Because words aren't going to get better if you just stare at them. And I don't know how much time there is to make these words worth reading again. We'll see. Let's read them once. This is Math Grand Prix. 2 plus 2. This is Math Grand Prix. Take 2. 2 plus 2 speaks into Gunther's helmet while his Formula One electric race car drives toward the math point. I think I call this math table now. So let's go ahead and rename it math table right now. Because that is just the math table under the road, Grand Prix road. I like that better. Because the math table is what actually is going to cause the car to stop. So I'm going to edit that right now. So we got the math table it's not the math table under the road. And so let's get rid of the monolith real quick. This is a good point. It'll give a reason why we want to call this math table. So math point, there's not that many words, and I literally can't find monolith or mono. God, did it monolithic? Oh, I have it to where that's right. I didn't have the beams with the monolith, but I do want the pressing of the button, and it'll come up, and it can be focused on a specific car on the math table. Let's see. So the Math Grand Prix, a next generation Grand Prix, includes the rules that challenge the drivers to focus with math, given AI engineering and money perfects the performance of the Formula One. The Big Blue IBM team introduced their AI models that allows any skinny human able to drive a car to pilot an F1. Allows any skinny human able to drive a car to pilot an F1. After years of victory, the F1 accepted that drivers need to start doing math to increase the mental strain now engineered away by AI. Now engineered away by AI. So let's correct some of these things before we read it aloud. The Big Blue IBM car revs, taking sharp corners after the math point, and nearly overtakes Gunther. The stands and side crowds rising from the Monaco streets cheer. The stands and side crowds rising from the Monaco streets cheer, while the cars, not they, while the cars enter the tunnel and speed toward the next math table. And this will help the read through. 8-4 speaks into Gunther's helmet. Gunther shakes while the F1 porpoises over the rough Monaco road. 8-4 is 18, says the team principal. While Gunther mutters 4. Stopping, says Gunther. The race master presses a kill switch. The zero switch. And the math table stops Gunther's Formula One electric car. Stopping, says Gunther as he grips the steering wheel in anticipation of the race master's next words after the car comes to a complete stop on the raceway. As the Big Blue race car zooms past with a successful subtraction of 9-8, the car stops. The race master raises the math flag, raises the black and white math flag. Let's go the blue math flag. What's the colors on the screen? And let's case it. It's like the checkered flag, right? It's the math flag. It's got to be maybe the pink math flag. I like that. Okay, so the race master raises the pink math flag. And let's just make it a flag. So the kill switch of the tables, it gives it to there. Lifts the Mac flag. Gunther's car revs. The wheels zoom. Gunther zooms through the Monaco streets, chasing Big Blue and dropping math solutions like America dropping bombs in foreign countries. Math problems like 7-3, 18 plus 0, 4 divided by 8. Calculate in Gunther's mind, not calculated. Calculate. Calculate in Gunther's mind. His fingers and arms press and guide the race car around bends and curves. To catch the Big Blue, calculation and time for the Gunther to drive through the math tables. Push, push. Okay. 10 minutes left. I'm going to turn this thing off and read it. 10 minutes left on this timer, but, let's just read through this thing. That was Video Game Flash Fiction. That was Math Grand Prix. Wow. I never thought well, I did thought when I bought this game, wondering how the hell I'd write it. I didn't think it'd come out this way, to be honest. But I didn't think about it all that much because once I test that they work, I put them down and I don't think. There's so many other stories to write, but these are fun. Anyway, let's stop talking about processes and let's start reading words. All right, coming at you from Video Game Flash Fiction. This was the story from Math Grand Prix. 2+5 speaks into Gunther's helmet while his Formula One electric race car drives towards the math table under the Grand Prix road. 4, says Gunther, and a beep sounds in his helmet, allowing the Marlboro Red race car beyond the math tables, allowing the track in the lead of the monocle, allowing the track in the lead, allowing him to remain in the lead. I mean, some mistakes you can't overread. Let's try that one more time. We're only on the second paragraph, and I've already stopped. Apologize. I got to better read over mistakes and get in that editing quick mind. This is Math Grand Prix. Let's start from the top one more time. 2+2, 2+5. 2+5 speaks into Gunther's helmet while his Formula One electric race car drives toward the math table under the Grand Prix road. 4, says Gunther, and a beep sounds. 2+5 is 4. That's fucking hilarious. I get the first one wrong. I think I changed that. That's what I'm going to tell myself. Make a horrible Math Grand Prix driver. I'd still get it wrong. It'd be 7. I wanted it to be 4. I want 2+2 because that's like that classic math problem. What's 2+2? Let's fix that one. Okay, let's start over Math Grand Prix and realize how bad at math I really am. Maybe Gunther really does win. I'm just going to be a horrible editor. This is fun. Okay, Math Grand Prix. 2+2 speaks into Gunther's helmet while his Formula One electric race car drives toward the math table under the Grand Prix road. 4, says Gunther, and a beep sounds in his helmet, allowing the Marlboro Red race car beyond the math tables, allowing him to remain in the lead. Allowing him, man. Gosh. 2+2 spreads into Gunther's helmet while his Formula One electric race car drives toward the math table under the Grand Prix road. 4, says Gunther, and a beep sounds in his helmet, allowing the Marlboro Red race car beyond the math tables, allowing him to remain in the lead for the Monaco Math Grand Prix. The Math Grand Prix, the next generation Grand Prix, includes rules to challenge the drivers to focus with math, given AI engineering and money perfects the performance of the Formula One. The Big Blue IBM team introduced their AI models that allow any skinny human able to drive a car to pilot an F1. After years of victory, the F1 accepted that drivers needed to start doing math to increase the mental strain now engineered away by AI. The Big Blue IBM car revs behind, taking sharp corner after the math point, and nearly overtakes Gunther. The stands and side crowds rise from the Monaco streets cheer while the race cars enter the tunnel and speed toward the next math table. 18-4 speaks into Gunther's helmet. Gunther shakes while the F1 porpoises through the Monaco roads. 8-4 is 18, says the team principal, while Gunther mutters 4. Prepare to stop, says the team principal. The race master presses the 0 switch and the math table stops Gunther's Formula One electric car. Stopping, says Gunther. He grips the steering wheel in anticipation of the race master's next words after the car zooms to complete the raceway. After other cars zoom through on the raceway, and as Big Blue race car zooms past with a successful subtraction of 9-8, the car stops. The race master raises the pink math flag. Gunther's car revs, wheels zoom. Gunther zooms through the Monaco streets, chasing Big Blue, dropping math solutions like America drops bombs on foreign countries. Math problems like 7-3, 18 plus 0, and 64 divided by 8 calculate in Gunther's mind. His fingers and arms press and guide the race car around the bends and curves to catch the Big Blue. 7 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3, and 21 minus 9. Calculate in time for Gunther to drive through the math tables. Push, push, says the team principal. Gunther's red car nears the rear of Big Blue's Formula One. The road turns, curves. Gunther swerves left and right and by Big Blue while they approach the last math table. The team principal says 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 3 plus 3. Gunther says, repeat, 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 3 plus 3. Gunther mumbles, 3, 18, or is plus first? It's Math table approaches. Gunther swerves side to side, holding Big Blue back as the math table comes and approaches. He mutters, divide, then multiply, or add, then multiply. We need an answer. 1. And with the press of a button, the car stops. Big Blue zooms by across the finish line, winning the Monaco Math Grand Prix. Well, that was a bit choppy on the read. I do apologize, but that was Video Game Flash Fiction for today. And we'll be done. That was fun. Let me go ahead and commit this and do the ceremony of taking the game out of the console. Probably the last time I'll ever play it. In fact, it is probably very likely the last time I ever play it. Maybe we'd edit the story. Probably someday I'll edit it and try to publish it. So I'll play it again then. Write the story about math and racing. And not facing, but racing. Math Grand Prix. Let's turn this thing off. And for today, that was Video Game Flash Fiction. The game was Math Grand Prix. Please remember, find ways to write. Find ways to game yourself to do it.